Not every urge for change means that it's time to make a change. It could be restlessness, it could be projection. So we are going to get into it, and we are going to ask Spirit what is stirring beneath the surface, what's exhaustion, or maybe projection, what actually deserves like seriousness and focus around this, what does not need action yet, and what is a grounded response. Okay, so I've been sitting with this energy. It's interesting. Normally I do pull a good amount of cards, and I pulled a little bit, and then I pulled a card, and it was like Spirit was like, this is for those who are watching to judge. Like I wasn't to know really much more ahead of time. But what I got so far is that maybe you hope that there is going to be a change, that there will be a change, and you have a fear of asking for what you want. And it was interesting when I wrote this down, and I wrote fear of asking for what you want ended up like on a completely different line. So maybe, like, I'm hearing you're allowed to want, and you're hoping that there will be a change, but you're afraid. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of asking for what you want, and why? And then I got wind of ideas and clarity, and then I had this vision of these little sprites of the earth, little magical beings with the amanita mushrooms. And they were just like, do, 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 do. And then fire of love for the earth and the Sacred Heart. So this all feels a little bit mysterious to me right now, the connection of what like the little sprites have to do with change. So I'm really excited to get into this. So I'm going to pull the cards now. I'll have them all face down. And just remember, when we do tarot, when we look at oracle cards, this is all in your hands. You have sovereignty over your life. And once again, I got ones that went up. Ooh! The Tower and Rest, Retreat, and a New Start. I think maybe that answered the question already of, is this actually the start of something? Is this actually change? Well, this is interesting. That's our theme. Whenever I have ones at the beginning that just like reveal themselves, that's our theme. Okay, so we shall. But yeah, just remember, you have control over this. If this does not resonate with you, then it might not be your reading, and that's fine. But if it does, the cards can't force us into a specific way of being, a future, or anything like that. These are tools for self-development and help us to reflect on what action we actually want to take. So just remember, this is all in your hands. Okay. Let's see. Is this actually needed to be changed? This is crazy that we got the Tower as the theme. So I'm thinking yes, but I don't know. Let's see what the cards have here. I do a full prayer before going into this. It takes a very long time, so that's why it's not in my recording. But I'm feeling inclined to let you know if for some reason, if you feel ungrounded, I invite you to pause the video and ground yourself for a moment. Imagine yourself sitting up straight. We always want to sit up and have our spines aligned. And then imagine that your root so effortlessly grows out of the bottom of you and joins the roots of other trees for strength, and then drops down into the center of the earth and attaches to the center of the earth. And through here, you can have some groundedness. Take some deep breaths. And remember that you are the author of your life. Thank you. Thank you. I felt so inspired to do that. You know, I work one-on-one with women who are going through transitions, and I always find tools like this to be so helpful to just get clarity around things that oftentimes we already know. Most things we already know, right? But we just kind of need clarity. Okay. What is stirring beneath the surface? Oh. Illusions around lost love. And this is something that's been overwhelming you, and you are wanting harmony. You're hoping that there's going to be a change, but it's an illusion. It's an illusion. So what is projection here? Indecision. You're denying yourself inner peace. I got both inner peace and inner sanctuary. We got chamomile of inner peace. And then inner sanctuary. You're denying yourself this because of this illusion. And you are holding back a decision. That's what this tower is. You need to make a decision, and you are afraid. You're hoping that they will change. And it's interesting because when I wrote it here, hoping that there will be a change, but what just came out of my mouth was that they will change. You're afraid to ask for what you want. Okay, what deserves seriousness here? Creating harmony through balance, a metamorphosis, reflection, investment, and looking at your long-term vision. Is what's happening now really good for you? You can always do what you want with this stuff. I feel like this is getting very clear now. That there might be some illusions. That you need harmony around. Illusions around love. It could be romantic love. It could be other love. It could be even like love of something in your life, right? Love of your job. Is that an illusion? Have you just been faking it? And there's an indecision around work, right? And that's disturbing your inner peace. So apply it to what you know within you makes sense. And if none of this is making sense, this might not be your reading, and that's fine. But what deserves seriousness? Your metamorphosis. That deserves seriousness. Look, she's taking off a mask. the mask of illusion. Creating harmony through balance. We've got the butterfly, the monarch. And planning it, reflection, long-term vision with the Seven of Pentacles here. He's thinking and planning. That deserves your seriousness. Planning around the change that you're going to make. That new start. What does not need action yet? Hardship. You don't need to be focusing on your hardship, I'm hearing. You don't need to be Spirit, can I have some clarity around this? What does not need action yet? This is interesting. To reveal. Do we want to reveal something? It's interesting that everything was so clear before this. That's too much of a pile. Everything was so clear. This was sideways. Overly emotional. Bad advice. High standards. Spirit, I'm very... Okay, I think we're supposed to... We're going to move on to the next one and come back to that because I feel like we're going to... Okay, more is going to be revealed. Okay, a grounded response. Acceptance. And transformation and confidence. Wealth. It's interesting. I feel like there's a lack of clarity around what to actually do. Other than accept it. It's like, this feels like your jumbled mind, honestly, of what do I do? What do I not do? Because it's around action. Like what action needs to be taken? And it's just acceptance. It's just acceptance. And for some reason, I wanted to call you sweetheart. So sweetheart, it's an illusion. And you know what it is. It's an illusion. This lost love is an illusion. So whether this is within work, romantic love, a family situation, a friendship, a passion of yours, It could be even around like a health crisis or something, but this is acceptance. I mean, like, I feel like the Tower could not be more clear of this theme. And then to have rest, retreat, and a new start. We have the Four of Swords here. It's time to accept it. You need to make a decision. It's time to stop hoping that there will be a change just because you're afraid. You need to go ahead and make a decision. Ask for what you want so that it's clear as day. And then you can move forward with your planning so that you can have inner peace and metamorphosis. Spirit, can we have one more piece of advice here? I don't think I use these cards at all yet. Interesting. I know this was a hard one. If you are needing more support on this, I do offer one-on-one readings, so you are welcome to book with me below. I have my booking link. If you feel like you've gotten what you need and you know what it is that you need to ask and you know what it is that you need to do, then maybe this was enough. Fire, ignition. Okay, we're gonna read this one. I want to read this one. Where are you? Fire. 26. It's time to light a fire. It is. Live your passion. Let me show you the card. Look at you there. Live your passion. Allow your spirit to drive you forward. Don't overthink the situation. Remember that pile? We got a whole bunch of stuff. Don't overthink it. Now is the time to innovate and take action. To make that tower happen. To stop the illusion. Be a lighthouse for others or find yourself a mentor. It is said that Prometheus was asked by Zeus to create man. Humans were formed with clay made of water and earth and were fashioned in the god's image. Unlike other animals, however, these new beings seemed quite helpless. No fur, no big teeth, few skills. Prometheus felt sorry for mankind and asked Zeus if fire could be given to them. Prometheus knew that fire would allow men to grow and thrive and would be totally transformational to their life and survival. Stealing it meant that all art and skills would only blossom with fire. And mankind would go stronger with fire when used for cooking and warmth. Prometheus crept into Zeus's own hearth and, lighting a small flame with a stalk of giant fennel, took the fire and escaped. He gave mankind the small fiery spark that all others have been lit from. You are the fire. You have the fire. It's time to burn it down. It's time to change your life. All right, that's what I have for you.